Welcome to Curious Minds, where we bring your curiosities to life. In today's video, we'll be diving into the haunting story of the bellwitch. The haunting of the bellwitch began in 1804, when Father John Bell relocated his family to a small town in Tennessee. The Bell family cheerfully moved into a quaint log cabin, located on a few acres of farmland, the perfect place to relax and retire. The Bells experienced 13 years of peace and normality, until one day, John Bell faced something he never thought was possible. While walking on his farm, John Bell came across a mutant-like creature, with the head of a rabbit and body of a dog. In his state of panic, John fired shots at the animal, to which the animal disappeared without a trace. John was left stunned. What had he just seen? He went back to the safety of his cabin and thought nothing further of the event. Little did John know, however, that this experience would be the beginning of his end. John was awoken later that evening by a series of strange noises, taps and bangs, creaks and scratches. His house was alive. The sounds continued every night, knocking on his front door, tapping on his windows. The sounds became louder and more aggressive as time went on. John's daughter began to complain of rats gnawing at her bedpost during the night, and that she could hear singing coming from another room. One night, John was awoken by the screams of his daughter. His mouth was completely paralyzed, and he was unable to talk. He shot out of bed and into her room, only to find her on the floor, covered in scratches. The spirit disliked John's daughter, Betsy, almost as much as it disliked him. Betsy had been pulled out of her bed while asleep, her blankets and pillows thrown to the side. John's greatest fears were then realized. He was dealing with something of the unnatural realm, something supernatural, something unexplainable. Events like these didn't stop. They became more and more frequent. Bedding being pulled off at night, tapping on windows, scratches all over walls, weird noises. John's daughter Betsy recalled being stuck with pins and being pinched, sometimes even being slapped. The entity appeared to enjoy hurting Betsy and John. The spirit became vocal and began to engage in full conversation. When asked, "Who are you and what do you want?" the spirit replied with, "I am a spirit. I was once happy, but now I have been disturbed." At times, the spirit displayed a form of kindness, especially toward Lucy, John Bell's wife. The most perfect woman to walk the earth, the witch would sing hymns to her and shower her with compliments. She even showed John Bell Jr. a measure of respect. The rumors of the Bell Witch spread far and fast. Many people became interested in the claims of a supernatural being on the Bell farm. General Andrew Jackson traveled to the Bell farm to investigate the legend of the Bell Witch. While traveling with his entourage, the general's wagon came to a complete and sudden stop for no apparent reason. Parcels and men hurtled off the top of the wagon as their entire party came to a sudden halt. Horses panicked, while men attempted to recover themselves to understand what had just taken place. "I will be seeing you soon, won't I?" said a voice from the trees. The men, now in a state of panic, were ordered by General Andrews to push on. The torment didn't stop there. The men reported hearing the witch's voice resounding throughout the house each day, singing hymns and quoting Bible verses. Sometimes the witch would even perform sermons. Oftentimes, however, the witch would exclaim her resentment for John Bell and would make threats to end his life. The Bell Witch claimed that she was a previous neighbor of John Bell and that he had wronged her. She vowed to be the one to end him. One day, many months later, John Bell fell ill and became bedridden. His strength was removed, and he was no longer able to look after himself. His children tended to him day and night, but to no avail. John fell into a coma and later died. Immediately following John's death, the Bell Witch exclaimed she was responsible for the death of John and that her deed was done. She had won. Afterward, the entity interrupted the funeral proceedings by singing drinking songs and exclaiming how she was responsible for John Bell's death. She found amusement from tormenting mourners. The job was done. The Bell Witch had claimed the life of John Bell and agreed to leave the Bell family alone, but not before warning that she would reappear within 7 years, and then again in another 100 years. Many say in the year 1935, around the time the witch promised to return, mysterious occurrences happened at the location of the old farmhouse. The spirit did return to Lucy and her sons Richard and Joel with similar activities as before. However, they chose not to entertain her antics, and the witch appeared to leave again. If you liked this video, consider giving us a like and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, stay curious.